of all the sports, why did you choose lacrosse?
Actually didn't choose lacrosse. My son chose lacrosse. Like most parents, that's a lot of times how it happens. Your child chooses a sport and that's where you end up.
So he plays lacrosse?
He does, yes.
So when did you get involved in the program?
Well, we have been involved with lacrosse for, this is year 7, starting out the season starting. And in the first couple of years I managed the teams, like the individual minor teams. And then in December of 2007, our past president tricked me into becoming secretary. So I was secretary for 3 years of the Calgary District Lacrosse Association. And then last December at our AGM, I was nominated or elected president.
So you said that your son plays lacrosse. Could you elaborate more on how that got you into where you are right now?
Oh, okay. I learned it earlier on, long before I was a parent. That's actually how I answered the question, is that most kids' activities have involve a lot of parental volunteer time. So most people know going into a sport that they're going to be required some level of volunteer work. So you can keep it as light and short term as you want it. For example, if you didn't want to manage the team or coach the team, you can work in the minor officials box, so you can keep score. You can work, or you could work the scoreboard, or you can work what's called the 30-second shot clock. So that's a different way that you can volunteer. So I always volunteered. My role was always managing the team, and then, like I said, I was tricked into becoming the secretary. And then I just wanted to grow a little more and learn. It was a new challenge for me to become president.
Great. So who does your son play with or for?
He plays for the Calgary Axemen, and they're in the southeast.
So you've been a president for 7 years, is that right?
No, I have been a president for 4 months. Before that, I was the secretary for 3 years. And then in between, I was also secretary managing teams, and then managed teams for years before that as well.
So you're pretty fresh as a president. How's that going so far?
Well, it has its trials and its tribulations. Some days I'm pulling my hair out, and some days I think I've made a big mistake, and then there's other days that everything worked out well.
So during those days that made you want to pull your hair out, what made you stay?
A dedication to the sport, personal satisfaction, and knowing that I saw it through as well.
So what's the yearly enrollment rate?
We just finished. We're starting the season at the end of April. So we're just starting to, last week we collected team numbers. So for this year we have 2,447 players, and we divide that up by ages. It comes out to 180 teams.
So what kind of things have we done to increase the rate of enrollment?
Being that I have just started as president, we held during Teachers' Convention it's kind of mostly a morning part into the afternoon. So we had 3 segments. Of a tri-lacrosse clinic. So if you had a friend that had a hockey helmet, and we scrounged up some sticks, and we had, sorry, I'm going to ruin your interview here. So we did for girls, tyke, and novice divisions to try the game. So we had a few of the coaches from the area, and Bruce Codd from the Calgary Roughnecks joined our executive director, Kevin Murray. And they taught just basic skills, basic rules of the game, fundamentals, that kind of thing. And out of that, we've actually grown by 2 teams, because we've now created a league of 2 teams of novice girls. So we'll grow with that next year. We'll add to that next year. So because of that, we're hoping to have more tri-lacrosse clinics over the winter time.
So the enrollment rate has been increasing?
It's been a slow and steady increase, just a small percentage, and that's what you like it to be. You want to be able to grow your coaches, your referees, your skill base. For example, if we all of a sudden had 500 new kids, that generates, divided by 15, that many new teams. So you have to find floor space and coaches and referees, so your quality isn't not that it's not high quality, but they don't have the background experience, they don't have the training, they don't have years of refereeing, they don't have years of coaching. They're all new. A couple of weeks ago, conjointly, the Calgary District Lacrosse Association, Calgary Field, Calgary Winter Lacrosse, and Calgary Masters Lacrosse all chipped in some money, and we purchased 100 Roughnecks tickets and donated them to kids sports. So those tickets are divided up, 50 tickets for tomorrow night's game and 50 tickets for the game next Friday on the 8th.
Wow.
Yep.
So is there any other way that the program's involved with the Roughnecks besides the promotion?
Yes, we go to the Roughnecks games. We have 8 clubs in Calgary and the surrounding area. So Calgary is divided up by quadrant. There's 4 clubs, and then there's 4 clubs in our surrounding areas: Okotoks, High River, Strathmore, and Rocky View. Rocky View consists of Airdrie and Cochrane. So, and there's 8 season games, home season games, so 1 club a game. So the clubs get an honorarium for selling 50-50 tickets at the game. The proceeds of the selling of the tickets goes to the Roughnecks Charitable Foundation. And usually we end up with, it's not an expected, but it's usually a sizable contribution at the end is given back. But it's not an expectation that it is coming, it just happens.
So how do you think losing the Roughnecks will affect?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So how do you think losing the Roughnecks could affect lacrosse?
Actually, I've actually combined 2 of your questions together. And how do you think the Roughnecks situation affects kids' motivation?
Yeah.
So I think that you might join a sport because of a local professional team in your area, but I think you stay for the love of the game. Like, I think that the Quebec Nordiques leaving Quebec City and the Jets leaving to go to Phoenix. Did the Jets go to, yeah, the Jets went to Phoenix. I have to call my husband and ask. The Jets, I don't think, I don't know for sure statistically, but I doubt very much that there was a drop in registration. The love of the sport was already there in the community. It was already established.
So you're saying that kids are joining, maybe possibly because of, you know, the influence from the Roughnecks, but they're not necessarily going to quit just because they're going to be gone.
That's right, because if you're in the sport, if you continue on past a couple of years, you like the sport, you're going to continue on. As long as the sport is there for you to play, you're going to continue on playing.
Have you kind of heard kids talk about it at all, or, you know, like mainly about the Roughnecks? And
Well, the season's just coming up. So our season starts this weekend. A lot of the evaluations start, and then team placement, and the season starts at the end of April, and they go to the near the end of June, and then they have playoffs. So I haven't been, other than my son, he's the only one of his friends that actually play lacrosse. When lacrosse season starts, the lacrosse friends start hanging out. So the conversation hasn't been growing in our household.
Sorry, I'm just going to go back to your son.
Sure.
What exactly made him start do lacrosse anyway?
Really? He was 8, and he went to my mom's for a week, she's in the Okanagan, so they start their season months in advance because they've got such a beautiful weather. They practice outside. Field is a big program there. So he had gone, and the fellow who's probably was in his late 40s at the time next door played Masters Lacrosse, and for one night, for something for them to do, him and my mom and my stepdad went to watch this game, and that is all I heard. All I heard from when he came back. But I had missed the registration deadline because registration happens earlier in the year before the season starts. So I had missed, because it was springtime when he went, I had missed the registration deadline. So that's what but I was getting notes left and everything of, don't forget to get me registered, don't forget to get me registered, don't forget to get me registered. For Christmas, I just want lacrosse equipment. He had gone, he had tried it all out. He knew how much everything was. I need a gift certificate from here, and I need a gift certificate from here. Don't buy me anything. He just wanted to make sure that he was getting in. Asked my volunteer time with the club itself was selling 50-50 tickets. So you go and you sell the tickets until I think it's halftime, and then you go and you watch the rest of the game.
All right, so where do you see lacrosse going after the Roughnecks leave?
Honestly, I have faith in Calgarians. I don't see the Roughnecks going anywhere.